often the only source of retirement income. So how we treat Social Security is critically important. And I oppose privatization of it because it would essentially destabilize the system. Years ago, in 1983, President Reagan, Tip O'Neill, then Speaker of the House, Tip O'Neill, worked off of recommendations made by a commission and put in place a plan that acknowledged the long-term challenge to Social Security. Those of us baby boomers who are now approaching the age where we are eligible, the age of retirement the age of eligibility has moved up to 67. I do not support adding additional years. There are many people in this district who have worked very hard all their lives, often at very challenging physical work, who would never see the benefit of Social Security if we raise the age. But I do think it's structurally sound for a number of years. We know we have time to deal with this. I think that a commission can come forward with a whole host of recommendations and will find an approach that protects the essential promise of Social Security, does not privatize it, does not destabilize it.
Mr. Golnik? Thank you.
Social Security is not structurally sound. I know the President thinks that as well, and it simply isn't. You can't be sending out more money and taking in less and have anything be solvent. Now, I was attacked last time by Representative Tsongas because she said I wanted to privatize Social Security. And even in Representative Tsongas' answer, I didn't hear any solutions to a problem. And it is an intractable problem. And what I have said in the past is that we need to look at any and all possibilities to try to save this. Because if we do not tackle the problem of Social Security, it is going to tackle us. And it's going to take a bipartisan effort, not by someone who votes 95% of the time with the leadership of her party. Now, I have said in the past, and I still believe this, that we should give new people entering the workforce, the option. I don't believe in mandates, Representative Tsongas. I don't believe in forcing anybody to do anything. Give them the option to invest a small percentage of their savings in private investment accounts. Will this be a hit to the budget at first? Of course it will. But by simply kicking the can down the road, and whenever you're given the opportunity, Representative Tsongas, to talk about what you do, kicking the can down the road isn't an option any longer. And to attack people who come up with ideas, look, the only thing that I'm not going to agree to with regard to Social Security is the status quo, which is what you agree with.
Congresswoman Tsongas?
Well, Mr. Golnik, 2 years ago, when the Ryan budget first came out, which included privatizing Social Security and voucherizing Medicare, said, and I quote, that Mr. Ryan's budget was fantastic. So I think that Mr. Golnik has taken a position strongly in support of privatizing. The reality is that I am there were 100 members of us who signed a letter to the super committee asking it to think big, that our real challenge is $4 trillion and that we need to look at all legs of the stool, how we grow our economy, how we bring in new revenue, and how we embrace and think carefully about those parts of our federal budget which aren't very important. I voted for the Budget Control Act. That's a down payment on the side in which we look at reducing the cost of government. But as we go forward, I certainly have not and cannot support a pledge in which you say absolutely one leg of the stool is out of the question. It ends up, you mean you go up to Washington and you become part of the problem.
Ma'am?
Okay.
Thank you very much. Representative Tsongas, I said it was fantastic because it was a good starting point. And again, in your rebut there, I didn't hear any solutions on how we're going to fix this problem. I've heard you coming after me and attacking me and telling me that I want to privatize Social Security. I am ready to have a discussion on what we can do to try to save Social Security. And kicking the can down the road, the status quo, simply isn't an option. It puts our seniors at risk, and it's just unacceptable to me. And look, good ideas know no party affiliation. I will be willing to listen to anyone and everyone with a good idea to try to help solve the problem that we face with Social Security. Thank you.
And you have 30 seconds, the same 30 seconds.
I don't think it's a good idea to embrace a pledge that says in no instance will I ever consider revenue as part of a way forward in which we address the challenge of our debt and deficit. If you do not include some form of revenue, whether it's eliminating oil and gas subsidies for entities that no longer need it, whether it's letting the tax cuts for those in this country who've done so darn well, but whose help we need right now. If you make a pledge that in no instance will any revenue be part of the discussion, then you inevitably lead to a situation in which you balance the budget on the backs of middle-income Americans.